So you've got the product idea, you've designed it, you found a manufacturer, you have your costs, and you're ready to go. But how do you know that your product launch is going to be successful? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can have a successful product launch even if you have no digital marketing experience. If it's your dream to launch and scale an e-commerce brand of your own that will allow you to get freedom in your life, then subscribe to this channel for actionable tips and strategies. Hey guys, I'm Khierstyn. Welcome back to Launch and Scale. On this channel, we give you practical tips on how to launch your product and how to scale your e-commerce brand to 7 figures and beyond to build the lifestyle that you want. And my assumption if you're watching this video is that you've probably stayed awake, lost sleep more than once on wondering if you're making the right decision on how do you know for sure if your product launch is going to be successful and what can you do to actively build your brand. If you have thought any of those thoughts, be sure to write either yes or no in the comments. If you answered yes, you are in the right spot. So that's why in this video, I've put together 5 pre-launch marketing strategies that you can use to have a successful product launch. Now, this is going to work for you if you have never launched a product before, or if this is your very first product that you're launching. Tip number 1 is to co-create your product with your customer. So I don't mean actually physically build your product with your customer. What I mean is that as you're bringing a new product to market, absolutely use your customer base or your beta testers or friends that you're getting feedback from to actually get people to test your product, give you feedback, tell you why it's working, why it isn't, so that, or even get them to vote on logos, packaging, etc., color, how it looks, functionality. When you involve your customer, when you involve your audience in the co-creation of your brand, it makes them feel like they have a vested interest in this now because you're actively getting them to help shape the outcome of a product, and it's something that they invest their time into. So when you co-create a product with your customer, it does 2 things. One, it dramatically increases how engaged they are with your brand, and because you're literally designing a product with their feedback. Is amazing. And the second thing is you are dramatically de-risking bringing a product to market that isn't going to have a 5-star review. The reality is that you need to be testing, you need to get external feedback, because if you don't, from a design perspective, you might get a final product that your customers aren't going to use or aren't really happy about. So co-creation with your customer allows you to really make sure that it's a slam dunk when you're really nailing the product that customers want you to bring to market, because you're literally using them for feedback. It's exactly like, it goes a lot further than just a focus group. It's literally in the Kickstarter gaming space, I love hearing how people that bring board games to market will constantly do in-person play testing over and over and over and get feedback. It's such an amazing thing that I think other kinds of product creators need to borrow from the gaming space, because to create a fun, awesome game where the rules make sense, you have to get people to test the product. So absolutely doing that. And if you only have one prototype, that's okay. Get a group of friends together that are in your, that are your ideal customers, and get them to use the product and get them to give you feedback. Co-creation is such an underused tool. And it's going to allow you to really to point in the direction of what is really going to work. Not only from making sure people buy your product, but are they going to love your product? That's so, so, so important. Okay. Point number 2 is you're not selling a product. What? You're selling a result. Okay. When you're on this channel and everything we do is focused around building a brand. And a brand is something where you serve a specific kind of customer. And we sell products not based on price, but we sell products based on what result it gets somebody in their life. So we are all about really brand building and bringing a premium custom product to market where you own the customer experience. So when we frame this in terms of you're selling a result, there's a lot behind here in price psychology that when you focus on the problem you're helping someone solve, it will help increase the perceived value of your product to them. This is really important because if you are if you're an existing Amazon seller that got started in the game white labeling your products, you will probably see there's like 42 other identical things on Amazon. So why else would somebody buy your product over something else? Usually on Amazon, you're competing on price alone. So when you are in the business of bringing custom products to market that solve a need in somebody's life, you have to define the value in someone's life, not by the price, but by the value you're creating through a result. A really great example is take Tylenol, for example. With Tylenol, what are you buying? Are you buying a bottle of pills, or are you buying a remedy to a headache? And how much is someone willing to pay? How much am I willing to pay for a bottle of pills versus bottle of pills that relieves my migraine that's had me in bed for 8 hours? Okay, perceived value. And so when you look at what you're selling, you need to define it in terms of what is the problem I am solving in somebody's life. Okay, take my favorite planner, which is usually right beside me, but we have the Monk Manual. The Monk Manual is a 90-day system for peaceful being and purposeful doing. Essentially, it's a quarterly planner that is laid out in a way that helps me plan my days better and appreciate gratitude, and they have a few other things in there. What I'm buying with the planner is not just a way to organize my thoughts. It's a way to truly a system to help give me peace of mind, knowing I've taken everything into account in my day. So when you go to define what your product is, don't sell on features and benefits. Oh, it's got 8 hours of battery life. Oh, it's purple. Oh, okay. Those are just commoditized features. What you're really selling is the result, and you want to really quantify what that is and start to see your brand and your product in terms of a solution for your customer. It's bigger than just the physical features. Number 3, pick a niche or niche, but I say niche. Canadian A. So picking a niche is about getting really clear and really specific on who that person is that you're serving. And I don't mean your niche being, I serve men. Okay, your niche has to be that our supplement is for athletic professionals that go to the gym 5 days a week and grind, but they don't sleep well because of the demanding day job that they have. Your niche has to be really specific to define the person you're serving. This helps people identify your product as a solution custom for them. The more specific you can get, the higher perceived value you have, and the more cult-like following you have, because people, like, you're going to build a community of loyal followers in a specific niche. And know that, of course, your product likely has multiple kinds of customer groups or niches that you can serve. But take a product that we launched, Series Chill. It's a breast milk chiller that helps busy moms on the go still be able to breastfeed their kids. And the niche is moms who breastfeed. So moms that are breastfeeding between 0 and 12-month-old infants. But then we go more specific than that. Moms on the go. So these are moms that are, working moms that are still traveling to the office. They're on the go for play dates. They maybe travel for work. They are busy. They're on the go. Okay. That is a niche. And you might find that Lisa can actually sell to different groups, because another niche might be with, like, you have that as one niche, but then you also have like fathers who want to buy this as a gift for their wives. You may have, this is a great gift for baby showers. Okay. Within that, there are different reasons why people buy your product. So it is really important to know that you will have multiple groups and avatars within a niche, but you've got to get really clear on who you serve, because if you try to speak to everybody, you are speaking to nobody. Okay. It's through self-identification. Number 4, my favorite marketing tactic ever, oppa. And no, we're not talking Greece. Other people's audiences. When it comes to marketing your product, you want to leverage audiences that other people have in your space. Put it this way. If you look to write a blog, and you write a blog once a week on your website, over time, over 1, 2, 3 years, you'll start to see your traffic increase from like 20 a week to 100 to 1,000. that is the long tail, slow approach. Whereas if you can, for example, guest blog on somebody else's website, if you can get press, if you can send your product to an influencer and have them give you a shout out or do a product review, when you tap into other people's audiences, it allows you to build yours much faster. And not to mention, because you are affiliated with press, or you've guest posted on Forbes, or because some YouTube influencer has given you a shout out, that is social proof, which is essentially built-in trust. So if you want a way to shortcut your success, and by leveraging someone else's community, you're able to quickly build your own. So when it comes to marketing your product, always look at how you can get in front of a larger audience by leveraging influencers in your space, blogs in your space, publications, getting your product listed on catalogs, magazines, etc. Look to tap into a wider audience by leveraging someone else's, which is oppa. And so far with our first 4 points, I'd like to summarize it before we get on to point number 5. So we have talked about how to engage your community by co-creating your product with your customers so you know it's a home run. We've talked about how you're not selling a commoditized product. You are selling a result in somebody's life, and it's up to you to define exactly what that result is that resonates with your audience. Point number 3 is pick a niche. Oh no, I just went back on my Canadian roots. Pick a niche. You absolutely want to get really clear on who you're serving and stick to that, but also know that there are different customer groups, so you don't have to be limited to one. Number 4 is leverage other people's audiences. So this brings me to my final tip. Build your audience. When should you start building your audience? You should start building your audience the second you get serious about even designing your prototype for your product. Every business owner I've spoken to, every brand we've launched, every entrepreneur I've spoken to, their biggest regret is not starting to build their audience sooner. Start today. Different ways to build your audience. That is why, if you have made it to tip number 5, I have put a ton of our pre-launch marketing strategies and a launch checklist in a free guide that you can download just below this video. So grab that launch checklist that you can use for free. Apart from that, thanks for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, but you are excited to launch and scale your brand, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more. And apart from that, we'll see you in the next video.